Hello there friends, CS2 Live here. In today's video, a cool track from Aurora's new player, NAVI on the edge of elimination. NIP will head to America just for Valve's ranking. And of course the hottest moments from the EPL, plus plenty of other exciting news from the world of CS2. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. And I think we shall continue with the topic from the last video, pro player bans. This time, Seized, the ex-player of NAVI, has been hit. Luckily, it's just a Steam ban, not a VAC ban, which means that someone else might have accessed his account without him knowing, and this kind of bans usually get lifted quickly through support. So no need to worry, as Seized is probably already working on getting his account back. But now here's something that most players won't be happy about, a new track from Aurora's latest edition. Let's start with some context. See, the popular Eastern European streamer Strogo has stepped in to replace Potsy in Aurora's lineup. This happened because the core player had to step away due to family tragedy. But even while subbing in, Strogo kept streaming in his free time and showed off an interesting trick with the zombie graffiti. See, if you place it correctly, it looks just like an enemy holding an angle, potentially distracting opponents and giving you or your teammates an advantage. After he revealed this on stream, the price for the graffiti just skyrocketed. It used to cost around $1, but now you'll have to drop like 12 or 13 bucks to get one. Interestingly, before, Valve used to allow graffiti placement on glass, which players like Device abused for mind games. But that was eventually patched. Whether Valve will step in this time remains unclear, but let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is it legit or is it like cheating? I personally think that since it's in the game and you can use it, it's basically Valve's responsibility that this works. So I think it's legit. And since we're already looking back at the past and some classic Device tricks, it's perfect time to mention that ESL is also feeling nostalgic. Next year, we're in for something special, as ESL has announced that the future EPL seasons will feature 2 teams coming from the open qualifiers, which will be held in BYOC format. Guys, the real OGs who know what BYOC means, you can drop it in the comments below and explain to everyone. Like right now, just pause the video and type in before I explain it further. So for all the zoomers out there, BYOC stands for Bring Your Own Computer, basically. Meaning that anyone, literally anyone, can enter the open qualifier as long as they bring their own PCs and gear as well. On top of that, the finals will be played on LAN in a proper arena setting. For those curious, the last major tournament with BYOC qualifiers was Copenhagen Games 2019, where Gambit youngsters secured a spot. Exactly where Shiro and his gang shined, later becoming the champions of the COVID era with their Gambit squad. Wow, I mean, ESL are really bringing back the nostalgia. I remember when I visited BYOC LANs and I saw people play, but I never participated. It still felt amazing because if someone was cheating, they could just be seen. So this decision can probably mean that open qualifiers will go with people deciding who is right and who is wrong. No admins and no control, because the people will control. And while BYOCs will be the chance for lower and lesser teams to participate in huge tournaments, NIP are just heading to another region to try their luck. It was recently revealed that NIP will be attending a LAN tournament in Las Vegas. And just like in the movies, they're hoping to hit the jackpot. And despite the modest $10,000 prize pool, this event offers a huge boost in Valve ranking points. For example, Bose, who won the previous tournament in this series, jumped 37 spots in the rankings. Considering NIP are currently number 184, a win here is crucial if they want to get at least to a tier 2 spot. spot. After repeatedly failing in the CCT qualifiers, the team even lost Jax. But whether they can actually win this event is another question, because they will have to face teams like Energy, FlyQuest, Blue Jays, and others, so even this questionable move might not save them. Honestly, my friends, how Ninjas in Pyjamas have fallen from one of the best teams in the CSGO era to this. By the way, if you don't want to miss out the key CS news, make sure to follow us on Twitter, the link is in the description. Thanks! And also hit the like button and follow this YouTube channel and drop by in the comments below. Thank you. And since we mentioned Energy, let's take a closer look at their stats, because as it turns out, their AWPer might be just the best in the world, and I'm not joking. If we go purely by raw stats, OC currently is ranked #1 in AWP duels against other snipers. But what about m0NESY or ZywOo, you might ask? Well, ZywOo sits in the third place, winning 15 out of 24 duels. Meanwhile, m0NESY is actually 6th from the bottom, likely because he spends more time bullying riflers instead. Of course, OC is playing in the tier 2 scene, which is nowhere near the level of teams like G2, but hey, stats don't lie, at least for now. Maybe he deserves a comeback to tier 1 scene. Well, who knows? Back to Liquid, probably. And you know who's definitely having AWP issues as well? NAVI. At least that's what your favorite analyst Thorin thinks. According to Thorin, despite having Beat and Ime as really strong riflers and players, NAVI is struggling because of two other players. Because JL isn't delivering the same firepower, because he basically and presumably lost the motivation to play, and Wonderful is feeling immense pressure, especially from the Eastern European community, which seems to be getting into his head a lot. And as for AWPer, well, he's still AWPer, never known for putting up big numbers, which is felt a lot, especially when his teammates do not deliver. But that's not their only issue. You see, Navi's map pool is also looking rough, according to Thorin. They're effectively playing only 5 out of 7 maps, and even on their supposed strong picks, things aren't that great. Right now, only Mirage and Inferno look solid, but it's not like unbeatable, you know? And Ancient and Nuke remain their problem maps. I mean, guys, Thorin is kinda right. Could roster changes be coming to Navi, or is it something even worse? Of course, it's just Thorin's opinion, which I partially agree with, but it's not absolutely true. If you agree or disagree, or you have any plans or ideas for Navi that could help them, just let us know in the comments below, as always. Now, my dear friends, let's dive into the EPL Season 21 and check out how some of the teams are doing. First, obviously, let's talk about those who have already locked in their playoff spots. It's Team Spirit and Vitality. These two titans have been terrorizing the pro scene lately, and it's no surprise that they're at the top of every ranking. So, Spirit barely had to break a sweat. They swept all their opponents 2-0, even demolished Saw on one map with 13-1. Donk is in insane form, Shiro isn't far behind, though Zontex currently sits at the bottom for headshot percentage, like among all players of the tournament. But hey, that might not be as big of an issue as it seems. Meanwhile, Vitality had a rocky start. In their first match, they got wrecked by MIBR on Anubis' T side. But after that, ZywOo and his gang just locked in. They bounced back and smashed everyone, including 3D Max in a French derby.
Sure, go for it.
You take your mouse and you click.
Maka taps out 3.
C'est du dingue, c'est trop simple. Petite pétasse, va. Ferme ta gueule. Petite pétasse, va. For you, for us, it's just a lot of fun.
ZywOo getting loud.
Don't even run, don't even cross.
Not even close.
Ooh.
He's right.
And he's not even doing it in French. He's letting it. We know what he's saying.
So we're going to do our best to... It was so worth it.
We did it!
Been waiting months.
I had information on my watch, sorry. I knew where you were on B, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Did the admins
I
remove
guess,
his watch?
yeah.
For a playoff spot, they had to face Mouse, where ZywOo pulled off a wild cowboy ace on the pistol round. And as usual, he pretty much solo carried his team to victory.
Got those jewels moving in for a little bit more. Body block. Zertian feels something weird in the smoke. He finishes him off, and ZywOo is looking to it. Oh, 4 kills, tapping out 5.
Now let's talk about the teams sitting at 2-1, and among them NAVI really stand out. Unfortunately, not in the best way. Their first match was a loss to So. Not great. Then things got even worse because they dropped one map to Tyloo, the biggest underdogs of the entire tournament. Luckily, then they managed to snap out of it, take a cold shower, as I can say, and clutch up against Pain, which brought them to 2-1. Meanwhile, G2 also landed at 2-1, though their run started a bit stronger. Their biggest problem was basically the Mongolian squad, who mounted a comeback on G2's own map pick, and then they just completely ran over the Samurai on the decider. But according to Monesi, G2's struggles had a deeper cause. He said that they were playing football before the match, and he landed badly. He didn't feel right afterwards, and even considered asking for a sub. If it's a joke or not, I can't tell you, but there were no roster changes. I guess he was just dodging the loss with humor. He's fine. G2? That's another story. So other teams at 2-1 include the Mongols, 3D Max, Mouse, and surprisingly Liquid. While they might not be as dominant as Spirit or Vitality, they're still proving that they can put up a fight. For example, Liquid shut down a potential Turkish comeback and secured a win against Eternal Fire, while Mouse are just adjusting to their new IGL, so they're just a little bit shaky. As for the Mongols, their only loss so far was against the unstoppable Dragons, so they're still looking strong. The teams in a more dangerous position are Eternal Fire, Furia, Falcons, Gamer Legion, Saw, and Pain. They've all managed to grab at least one win, but they're still one loss away from elimination. Take Saw, for example. They upset NAVI, but basically because of that, they were thrown into brutal matchups against G2 and Spirit. Meanwhile, I wanted to mention one more time Eternal Fire, because they seem to be struggling mentally. Ever since breaking into the top ranks, their schedule has been packed with tournaments and extra practice, leaving them little to no time with families. And honestly, all of the players clearly look drained. Speaking of other teams, Falcons once again started strong, but fell apart just as quickly. After a pretty solid win against Liquid, they got steamrolled by Mouse and put up only one bit of a resistance against 3D Max. Falcons are clearly struggling from the inside, and if they could overcome the issues, I have no answer. Who knows, maybe another roster change will come. After all, you never know with the shakes. And 2 teams have already been eliminated, MIBR, who looked like they had potential but failed to convert their chances, and Tyloo, who, let's be real, nobody really expected much from. That's it for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click that like button, the follow button, and drop by in the comments below, as it helps us to develop a lot. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time, my friends. See you soon.